Well, golly gee, at this point we might as well flip a coin. I'm not flipping a coin because I am going to play as Scarlet next. Now, Scarlet is the oldest of the six, the firstborn, in a family with an invisible mother. Quite a responsibility, one that she faces with determination and a sense of duty and pride. She is 19 years of age. She should probably be enjoying what's left of her youth. But with 5 younger sisters, one more unruly than the other, somebody needs to maintain order and stability. Not that Scarlet doesn't wish to share the burden, or a moment of silence, a moment of quiet understanding with a soulmate, a moment of true togetherness. Her loneliness is a secret she will take to the grave, sooner than she may expect. I feel like that's a little goofy, that sooner bit. But yes, the oldest. 19. I like her shawl? I don't know clothing terms. I don't know what it would be. A poncho? I don't think it's a poncho. Whatever it is, it's cool. Oh yeah, we should probably stay on the path. I'm not staying on the path. What do we have available? The campsite and the playground's actually visible for us. Guess we'll just start wandering. Ah, flowers. Exactly what I wanted. Guess immediately, too, we can pull out the bread and the wine. This is for our dear grandmother. Thank you. Very insightful. To be honest, there's not much you really can get from the bread. I think there is a lot to be said about how they react to alcohol. Use in moderation to ease anxiety. Thought I saw another flower. See, there's a lot more you can gain from what someone's view on alcohol is, apparently. I guess the bread itself kind of would give them a viewpoint on their grandmother. But, like, I think most of them just kind of broadly said, yep, that's for grandma. Ruby said something along the lines of, what did she say? She said something a little bit more, standoffish, which a gothish character would be expected, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think we really got much from the bread. You want a graffiti? Nah, but someone else does. We'll double check the graffiti though, just to see. Okay. I just want to make sure. Because technically speaking, the graffiti wall is not specific for characters. I mean, you could obviously see that we used Ruby, but also the last character is going to use it. What are you doing? Don't tell me you're just showing me where flowers are. I mean, I'm gonna go straight to that flower, though. Looks delicious. Ah, spiderweb. Oh, geez. I got kind of stuck in it, but it's hard to see because of the tree. The panic that consumes you is the fear of order. Okay. Interesting stuff with that. Feather time. I wish I had time to clean up this mess. Why would you say that in the middle of the woods? That's if you were, like, cleaning trash. I don't want to go over to the theater, if you can imagine. Considering, we only have 2 characters left, and there have been 2 locations that we have not had a wolf interaction with, you can kind of assume where the wolf interactions might be. Touch it. Yeah, 80. I saw the shopping cart around. There it is. Right in front of me. Silly me. No shopping allowed. I am just kind of vibing at the moment. Since we can go to the playground and the campsite. I'm curious about the campsite, what we could really get from that. Since all of the objects there were specifically for Carmen, I don't know if we would be able to really interact with it. So let's actually head that way. At the very least, we might have a chance to sit somewhere. That weird, like, burned circle. Gotta circle around a little bit before we pick it up. Oh, and there is where the knife was. See, I think this is a great way to view these items. It's a shame that I can't find them sometimes. Looks like a clean blade for chopping vegetables. It's not. The campsite. I lost the campsite. It's that way. Oh, balloon's here. Yo, dog, what that balloon doing? I thought you would just be completely gone. Oh, not for me. Just double check just to make sure, though. We have had them have dialogue even if they can't actually interact with it, which is weird. There were like a bunch of flowers. I'm getting distracted again. I blame the balloon. So we haven't really had too much talking points at the moment. But, I think a lot of Scarlett's things kind of just go into her character description of, I have to take care of the family. So I have to kind of take on that role, like cutting vegetables and cleaning the gross dead bird thing. Also interesting was her note about the, let's sit first. Her note about the spider web being that, like, basically fear is just a fear of order. A serenade in the woods. Somebody is playing my song. Long, slim fingers gently caressing the keys of me. Weird. Girl, what are you saying? What are you talking about? Thought I saw a flower over there. I know there's one over here. I guess that kind of, that like serenading song maybe correlates to the thing where she kind of was like looking for a soulmate in her little blurb. Which I don't really know. I'm gonna just put it out there. I don't really know the best way to read that beyond just what it says on the 10. Oh, no wonder I was heading towards the theater. It's like right next to it. Yo, but where did that lake go? Is anybody here? Some people are just so... They set up their tents and then run away. What happened here? Okay, Carmen can't interact with that. It's important to kind of note Carmen still has her arms around her neck in that. suppose. So less, I guess less dead, but still like a very distressing view of the character when we've played as them. Men can be such monsters. It's simply disgusting. Whatever happened to elegance and sophistication? Interesting place to have that thought. Get trapped at the campfire. Get trapped on it. Can't escape. I've escaped. Can we do anything with this shed? No. Seems like the only thing where it was possible was Carmen, like, trying to get into it. Whatever you might want to get from that interaction. Oh, time for bullets. Don't know why I'm so focused on getting so close to it. Gotta just kind of pretend like I'm actually going over there to talk to the bullet. Bullet holes in the wall. Shells on the floor. Where's the rest of the building? Seems kind of unrelated to the bullet part, but yeah, I agree with you. Where is the rest of the building? I don't think... Did we ever run into this tree before? Well, we can see that there's someone that needs to run into that tree, and it's not us. I frankly just don't remember. It's a very different tree. I guess, is it like a dead tree? Very unique tree. See if we can do anything with the fence, since technically we didn't really get anything from it before. You can see we are filling up that blank spot. Again, I feel like it's related to what character you're playing as at the moment. You can chain link. Well, I feel like we're getting kind of an idea of what the last items for the other character might be. Trying to think of anything else that we weren't really able to interact with that belonged to her. We can see from the thing that's on the side a little bit that we need to go to the TV, which I guess we can start heading in that direction. And kind of towards the playground as well. It's all working out. Just have to find the mark on the TV. It's very, like, light. And it's very lit up because it's on right now. Look at it. Think about it. What do you want to do with it? Maybe if I stand in front of it a bit more. Maybe if I actually get up on there. Okay. Usually they want to interact with stuff by themselves when it's up like that, but apparently that TV was too powerful. Chaos awaits order. Like you await me, let me silence this madness and sing for thee. Weird. Interesting. A little bit thematic with the whole, like, chaos and order thing. And, we got another hint, but it's right in front of us, so... Oh, treasure! We're gonna cash out on this one. This diamond is undoubtedly fake. Oh, I knew it! I guess it's fair. Like, someone who's 19 would really not have much to say about, like, a toy diamond. Okay, look at the laundry. Do something with it. I don't think that's how you do laundry. That's just the same thing you did with the spider web. Did you finish doing the laundry? What was that? Oh, I wasn't close enough. I animated, but I didn't do whatever this is. This interpreted dance. Really vibing with it. Look at her go. She loved it. Get dirty to be clean. No light without darkness. A tear and a smile. I mean, get dirty to be clean, I guess, makes sense. You can't really clean something if it's not dirty. Like, you have to kind of have that... a lot of dichotomy, I guess, being brought up. Do I... It's so distracting. I see flowers and I'm like, I need them. Gotta have them. I really should have tried to keep count of how many I was picking up with this character, though. Oh, there's one way over there. Alright, let's not go that far. I already missed a bunch, and it's not like I'm going to be able to grab, what were we at this point? Or like 80-something. It's not like I'm going to be able to grab the other 60 easily at this point. 90-something? Wait a minute. 50 is not that hard compared to 60. Contemplating? I mean, the question really is, can you pick them all up with, like, one character? Because it seems like they cluster, and I don't know if it's, like, an amount of time that you play the game where it's like, okay, here, have some more. If it really does come down to going somewhere that you haven't been to before, because obviously when you see the map layout, I tend to circle around a little too much. So clearly there could be blank spots that I just didn't see. But you know, it's unclear. Unless if there is something that explicitly says how to do it. I didn't look into it. In hindsight, I also wish I would have known how many flowers I had picked up prior. It would be nice to see where exactly these get placed on the border when we pick them up. Unclear. Like, I mean, maybe someone could see it, but I'm just not. I don't think we're going to have anything to say about this well. As you can see, we already finished what we needed to, though. Yeah, like, I still don't think any of those ever are things for us. So let's go play on the playground. Gotta reclaim our youth somehow. Especially since we lost it to having to play the mother role. I wonder if we'll actually interact with the tower or not. Why do they leave this pile of rusty junk here? Some kid is going to get lost one day and seriously injure herself. Yeah. At least 4 of them have so far. Oh, I guess how many of them ended up at the playground. So, okay. I can't interact with this, but I can't interact with it. Alright. Good to know. Let me just zoom me away from that for a minute. Let's grab that teddy bear too while we're at it. Silly children taking their toys to the forest. Things get lost here all the time. What about you, girl? You don't know where that path went? Sit for a minute. Contemplate. Alright, you hate men again. Gotcha. I mean, it's not exactly what she's saying. But, you know, I'm more just upset that it's the same dialogue. Can we swing on the swing? I think if we do, it does just end up being another sitting spot, but there is kind of unique animations regarding that, if we're allowed. We're not allowed. Not for me. I wonder if that dragged rug would still be here if we didn't play as Ruby yet. Or if it's only here because of the encounter with Ruby. Different thing? A serenade in the woods. Alright, we heard that one too. Someone plays my song. Oh, I can actually interact with the rug. Ooh. Fancy. Oh, yes. Sit on it. Okay. I'm sure it doesn't smell or anything. Must have been able to sit on that with a couple other characters, probably. Is that really the theater again? Wow, everything was really just packed together, huh? Not going that way, though. Gotta pick more flowers. Good news is we'll at least get to 100 by the end of everything. A car we probably can't interact with. Think about it. Play with it. Play with the flower. It's an interesting design, these flowers. Like, obviously, it's not just a normal flower. It almost looks like a... I don't know, something that would be like a wind chime kind of thing. Not a wind chime, but like something that would be made to spin. Like those ones that are a bunch of like layers of a circle. They're not technically chimes, but they're made to spin in the wind, so... Junkies. They're everywhere. This needle won't send any poor devil to his fate anymore. You really should stop this car from running, though. I think, like, obviously, Scarlet is responsible, which she kind of has to be if she's taking care of the family, since the mother is not absent, but invisible, I think was what it said. And I believe if you, read, like, the plot synopsis, not the synopsis, the, I guess it is the synopsis, the, like, the thing, like, on the Steam page, or, like, generally just the plot rundown for, like, buy this game. I think it mentions that, like, the mother sends them out to go to grandmother's house, so she is in the picture, but in the most not in the picture kind of way. Ended up by that tree again. Okay, let's read about a boot. A boot. What's next? A jacket? A sweater? Underwear scattered around? People can be so primitive. I wonder, like, generally speaking, she just seems disgusted by it all. I wonder how much of that, like, aspect of men being uncivilized really comes down to men or not. I don't remember there really being that much more as far as that is concerned. Like, not a lot of extra flavor text that could come to that. I don't understand people who think nature is lovely. It's messy, and it smells, and it makes you get lost. He blames other people for getting lost, and she herself is lost in the woods. We really do live in a society. My collection. It's so beautiful, but also so flawed. Look at it. The bunch of little dots in there. In hindsight, if I had thought about the whole number system with collecting these, I probably would have made a bigger attempt to get at least that many. But, you know, hindsight will get you. Hindsight's 50-50? I don't know. I don't even know what that means. It's... I know, it's like... I know what it means. I'm sorry. I'm just collecting flowers, man. Just having a time. I mean, I'm getting a lot right now. How likely is it, do you think, that we would be able to get 39 with the last character? I would say probably doubtful. It's not the playground again, is it? It sure is. I don't know, it looked a little too lifted to me. I thought it was maybe the graveyard or the field of flowers. I thought there was something in front of me there, but it looks like it's just... Oh, it is something. It's the well. And speaking of the well, let's see about this bird. You have to break the egg to make an omelet. I feel like, if anything, that might come down to, like... I don't know. It might just be cooking. She didn't mention cutting vegetables up, but I feel like there's probably a little bit more to it than just that. Maybe, like, youth needs to go away, and you have to focus more on, like, the pragmatic approach to things. And the pragmatic approach would be, like, the usefulness of an egg is omelet. I'm spitballing here. If you couldn't tell this whole time, I've been spitballing everything. I vaguely have ideas of what things might be or what they mean, but in the end, it's all just conjecture by me. Don't know how easy we are going to be able to find other things. I'd like that map to show up. Is that the theater again? Our journey might be coming to an end at this point. I wouldn't mind the map showing up, but there is kind of a big chunk of blankness. If I kind of keep going straight, we might be able to find a little bit of something. Again, it's very easy for me to get lost. That's why nature is gross and icky. It smells, and it's easy to get lost in it. And there's more flowers, just for me. We do still have some stuff to read, and considering that me wandering is probably going to, if the objects are like even still here, probably still going to lead to me walking past them, we probably should just take what we can get, which will be that. I hope this plays on our stereo. I adore this interpretation. Yo, what song is it? What is it? Is it like reggae music? What kind of music? I'm like veering completely in the wrong direction of where I wanted to head. I wonder if that's something I've been to before over there. Playground again. It's always a playground. Do you think Scarlet likes reggae music? Probably just likes classical. If I'm gonna be honest, that's my read on her, like, design and I guess her mindset, the way she talks and everything. I think that ray of light over there is probably the wall. I know a couple things seem to have, like, a ray of light attached to them. I think the knife has one, and I think the wall has, like, a massive one on it. Although I don't see no wall. Might not have popped in yet, though. Oh, it's the circle again. Which, again, interesting that this has like a light source attached to it. If I stand still, do I do anything? And look, there's that ray of light on the knife area that I mentioned. Rub the neck a little bit. Just kind of hang out. I don't know what you're doing right there. That's kind of like sideways. That's like when you try to feed a dog medicine and they just aren't having any of it, when they just kind of like move their head back in disgust. And you're like, damn, gotta pull out the goddamn peanut butter again. Where am I? Oh, let's go that way. Let's go that way. Let's read something else. Flowers? I feel silly picking these, but flowers can really brighten up a place. Again, like, focusing mainly on, like, the application of something like that. The, like, very homebody, like, oh, well, you know, it'll make the house look nice. Which, if you're taking care of the... I guess you're taking care of the family, you're basically taking care of the house. Again, taking on the motherly role because your mother ain't doing it. I don't think anyone really had much to say about their mother as far as the characters went. It is kind of a shame that the other locations don't seem to always be here. Or, again, I could just be lost too much in the woods. I think if I had to guesstimate, I think there's probably only 3 at a given time. And obviously one of them is associated with the character themselves. I saw something, but I'm just wrong. As per usual. Imagine, we haven't seen the girl in white, but I think she's probably just hanging out where we need to go. Alright, well, we're almost done with looking at whatever we can look at. Balloon was nothing. The piano, I feel like, is something, and I kind of was hoping we could find it, but let's just... Nothing? That is surprising to me that she has nothing to say about piano. I really would have felt like that would have been, something she would have been maybe into. She talks a lot about music. Oh, grave? Oh, if she's not talking about that grave, she's not going to be talking about, like, any of the other ones. I think we went through everything. The tower was nothing. Alright, yeah, I guess we are done then. Unless if I find a trail of flowers. Kind of funny what, like, everyone seems to be able to talk about and what, like, barely anyone's able to talk about. The, like, poppies from the... I think they were poppies. I don't really know my flowers very well, so I probably shouldn't have specified. But the flowers from the, field, I think everyone's had something to say about them. We haven't run into the piano with every character, but we were only really able to interact with it with one person. And unless if Ginger has something to say, we were not really able to find the last object. Spoilers, Scarlet can find that last object, so get excited for that. But I believe, again, that Ruby technically has something to say about it, just we couldn't find it. Which is kind of, again, the weirdness of the game. It's a little strange. Found that circle again. To be fair, a lot of stuff seemed to be kind of, grouped together on this instance of map, I suppose. But also, it could have all maybe been spread out too. Again, we kind of lost a lot of objects because we picked them up. So if we were able to pick up the boot, it, like, I have no idea where it would have been. But I'd say we saw a lot of things. And now it's time to see this thing. Yeah, there's a girl in white hanging out. And you can see someone else over there. I guess we don't really have a piano to interact with because we have the amphitheater to deal with, which has the real piano. Well, that's inviting. And you can see up on stage the object that we were missing is there. Again, that's the one that I think the girl in white tried to lead me to with Ruby when I was playing this game before, earlier. Art is where the nobility of humanity is expressed. I could not live in a world without it. Nope. Guess I'm gonna go take a seat. I don't understand people who... Okay, I think we got what we wanted. Think nature is lovely. Nature is grody, dog. No, please don't sit back down. I beg of you. Get up. Where'd the girl in white go? Did she just immediately bail? I'm kind of curious as to where she might have ended up. I was kind of hoping to get a closer look at you, but... seems like we can't really interact with her. Or him. It's a little unclear. I'm kind of stuck in my ways of, like, long hair, probably being, like, a feminine kind of quality. But it doesn't really mean much. I'm, stuck a little bit. I like your weird jacket. Really just kind of sitting there now. I mean, also, the lips almost look like lipsticks on them too, so... again, doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let's just pick up that mask that we've been unable to grab forever. You can see the piano is something we can interact with now over here. Everybody hides their true face. That's probably for the best. I do kind of want to just interact, but I really got distracted by the fact that the girl left. I just don't know, like, where she would have ended up going. Probably back at the campsite, because that's where her tent is, right? It might just be as simple as that. Also, I mean, it's kind of come in every once in a while, and she's just kind of over there. But the vocals on this track may be worth checking out the song and, you know, listening to the full song on YouTube, because the ending is fun. Alright, let's just, let's do this then. Besides the last character's stuff, we have collected everything. Very cool. Well, everything except for all the flowers, but that's a lot of flowers. So that, like, top chunk, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. That top chunk is probably what we're gonna get with the last character. So just a little bit of blank spots. Not that many. It really isn't. Like, God, I don't think I have much energy in me to collect all the flowers, if it's possible still, but it's almost enticing with how many we've collected. Now, let's play the piano. It's kind of a shame that don't actually hear, like, the keys being... Oh! Oh, there's the piano. and the curtains falling. Now that's like a weird one, ain't it? And I guess they've all been kind of weird in their own rights. And there's going to be a lot to kind of say and try to get out of this. I think broadly speaking, you could probably put some pieces together. Scarlet is forced to take on the role of the mother in the family, and she also has a interest in art, well, music specifically. You can imagine then that she probably had to put that to the side to take care of her sisters, and like I would almost view being able to play the piano at the end there as like a good thing, maybe. But clearly it's not quite. I feel like maybe the curtain being drawn is kind of like putting an end to that ambition, or that like love of the art. Like you gotta kind of put that to the side, which is understandably a very upsetting thing to do. We'll talk about it a bit more after we get through grandmother's house, but there are some outside things to mention. And you can kind of see, like, everything's kind of covered. I feel like this kind of is an indication of, like, your individuality being removed. Because you can't... And, like, everything's gone in here, too. You can't be you. You have to take on the motherly role and not have, like, your own desires. Specifically because her desires were music related. Like, that just has to be removed. What are those jars? I can't tell you what that's about. The like grid of jars on the ground. But yeah, everything's kind of left blank. Whoa. We're in a weird book zone. A lot of books disappearing. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's kind of a weird graphical thing. And here's like all the music kind of being fogged. We're kind of being lifted up. I don't know if the books would represent being forced to study or knowledge disappearing. This seems like a very almost sterile wall, although I think you can still see the weird peacock pattern on the other side. It's kind of hard to see now with everything dark. Curtain rising. I guess that was the bed. So I couldn't really get much from that. The wolf had like, it looked like claws, and also there were like strings attached to Scarlet, like she was being puppeted, which I think is kind of the like, you're forced to play the role you were told to play. Ruined theater. I don't really know exactly what the wolf is supposed to be in general with that kind of idea. Because, again, the situation that we were kind of presented is her playing music, which seems like something she would have liked to do. But then, like, I don't know if the curtain falling indicates that that is gone, or if I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm not really positive about the wolf, except for all of the wolves kind of have names attached to them. I didn't really talk about it too much because it's mostly, like, broadly generic things. Like, Robin's wolf is called a werewolf. The one for Rose, I think, is just, like, fog or mist wolf. Nothing really too crazy with that. I think Carmen's was just the, like, woodsman wolf. One of the interesting ones, I guess, is that Ruby's is called the charming wolf, so take that for what you will. But Scarlet's wolf is called the fey wolf. Now, I'm sure there's different ways you could probably read what that means, but I'm going to read it my way. I know fays are often, well, obviously Fae is like a fairy, and fairies are often associated with trickery, but also they tend to steal names. That's kind of a concept that you get from, like, fays a lot. Or if you give a fairy your name, that's basically you giving them control over you, which kind of correlates to that kind of, I would say, puppet or, like, marionette imagery that we maybe got from one of those flashes. And that also would be, like, you can't be yourself anymore. That kind of goes with the taking away your individuality by having you kind of forced into a role that you maybe never really wanted, but you had to play out because the mother wasn't there. So someone has to take care of someone. So it's kind of has to lie to the oldest sibling. Because, like, yeah, so I don't know, like, not necessarily control, but taking away yourself, your sense of self, because you are controlled by, maybe, I guess broadly you could say that control is the role that you are forced into is what controls you. And a lot of what Scarlet had to say was about kind of that difference between chaos and order, that she was kind of forced to keep order. And yeah, that's at least my read on that, at least as close as I can get. I do question a more literal interpretation of what the wolf could be, because, I mean, as far as I saw, just in the most basic form, that person just seemed like they were, like, a teacher or something. I guess if it was straight up like a female figure, it could have been the mother telling her to stop doing what she's doing. And I guess you could maybe even say, since that person was playing the piano and then kind of sitting and watching and then walked up when we tried to play the piano, that it could have been like a passion that the mother could have had and kind of lost to when she had 6 children. But again, that's a lot of conjecture. It doesn't really have much to substantiate. But I would say that I think there's probably something to the wolf being called the Fey Wolf. I think that's a very interesting and very specific thing to say.